back to MidnightO2 Season 1, Episode 15. This is your host, Amy. How's your day going? I hope you're having a good day and getting ready to sleep. But welcome back to this podcast, and today it's just me with no guest. I'd like to talk about an interesting topic, and it's about friendship tonight. I like to talk about what my friends and I have been talking about friendships, about sisterhood, about best friends forever, the hashtag of best friend, So a lot of girls, from what I know, they have this one or two best friends. They also want the other person to see them as best friend. And when they don't, or when they just fail one of the expectations, then the friendship will have like drama, and the person's like, do you still see me as a best friend? It's just a mindset kind of thing. And there's a lot of girls who've been consulting with me about what their values are, and their like jealousies and friendships and ownership sometimes, I would say. So my perspective is that friends are also, they also have their own lives, and you can't expect the other person to always be there for you, although that's what best friends are. I always try to do everything for my best friend, and I will appreciate my best friend if they choose to do the same to me, but I wouldn't blame them if they don't do the same to me. So years ago, I was in a toxic friendship with this girl who's been friends with me for over like 10 years. But I realized that the friendship has gone to a stage where it was a little bit of, there was a lot of controlling in the relationship of me and her. And she would ask a lot of requests, and she gets upset when she sees me hang out with other girls but not her. And she would say something like, how come you don't dress nicer when you're with me, but you dress nicer when you're with other girls? And she would say, you're posting a post on Facebook, but you're not replying my text I sent like 2 hours ago. And I thought that was pretty ridiculous. And even though I appreciate like the 10-year friendships, I got one of my childhood friends, but I ended that friendship just because I couldn't stand it anymore after all these years. And I would say that from that experience, I learned that I don't want to feel forceful in a relationship, especially, friends. It was nothing beyond friendship. It's just me and a girl. We were just purely like sister friends. There was nothing like romantic involved, just to be clear. Yeah. But it was like very weird for me. But ever since that, I was just more conscious and more careful about who I spend my time with, because I believe that the group of people, the type of people you surround yourself with right now, like especially in this society, after graduating from college, they will make you who you are, and similar-minded people get together, and it's really difficult to not get influenced by one another. So I thought it's pretty important, and I always say to my friends, choose wisely about who you spend time with, no matter if it's friends or possible relationship candidates, I guess. Yeah. And there's another story that I want to share. So when I was 15 and 16, I was pretty immature, and whoever I got close with, I would just see them as everything in my life, just as important as my family members, and I would treat them like basically with everything. And I remember writing, "Let's stay friends forever," on this card to this one of my close friends in middle school. And she wrote back, "Forever is too long." I believe that there's always an end in forever. That's what she wrote. And to me, when I was 15, I was very overwhelmed. What does that mean? Does she not like me? Am I not doing enough to keep this friendship? Is she mad at me? That's what I thought. And I would be thinking to myself, does she not see me as a best friend? She should, because I see her as a best friend. And then as I grew up, I was like, oh, this is a very immature thought. And she was kind of right. But it's just she put it in a way that was pretty overwhelming. Looking back, I'm glad that she did that. Well, it's just we all have different perspectives, and sometimes I know a lot of people say forever, and it's just a way of saying it, but nobody really go calculate what forever means. Well, and there's another story that I always tell my close friends whenever we talk about friendships. So years ago, I saw this clip. Basically, someone asked this lady to write down all the important people in her life on blackboard. So the lady wrote down father, mother, husband, best friends, and her son. And the person asked the lady to erase the chalk written words one by one. And so she erased father, mother, and friends. And after that, she erased her son. And in the end, it's just herself and just one word on the blackboard, which is her husband. And this isn't a case in which she got married and in a situation. But I just wanted to say that the story showed that your friend will end up having her own life. And there are people you just can't hold on forever. And, our older generation parents, one day they will disappear from this world. And your son or your daughter will grow up and have your own life. And your friend will get married and have babies. If they don't, then either just one of you will get married or just have your own entire journey of life and maybe living in different places. It's very rare to have friendships that just stick together forever, but if you do end up having a friendship like that, then that's really great, of course. But what I'm trying to say is that sometimes being too controlling in a friendship is pretty bad, and having personal space and privacy and freedom among best friends is also pretty healthy. So try to consider that, especially after getting into different jobs, probably living in different cities, and then you realize every relationship takes dedication and time and efforts, and it's both-sided, two-sided. And sometimes my friends will ask me, I feel like I'm fading away from this friendship with this girl, and that girl doesn't message me. It's always me who messages them, ask them, do you want to hang out? And I just say, like, if you feel like the other person doesn't want this friendship anymore, then probably you're right. Or if you really feel like complicated about this relationship, then ask the person directly. I think it's always good to talk to your friend about how you feel about each other and what are the concerns about friendship. Just like any other relationship, I think communication is so important. And sometimes I also hear people saying they're so tired of maintaining a friendship. And I think friends should come naturally. You should never feel so tired just trying to maintain a friendship. You have no obligation to each other. But after all, I do feel like friendship is definitely a blessing. I'm so glad for all my friends who spend time with me and make memories with me. I really appreciate all of you if you're listening. And, I want to do the same for you, for those people I keep calling them my friends. And I think there's a clear difference in between a good friend and just an acquaintance in life. So make sure you know the difference and spend your valuable time on yourself and your family members and people you love. And you don't have to spend all your energy and all yourselves on everybody because, some people are not worth it. Some people are not worthy of your time, and you shouldn't give all of yourself and waste all of your energy on some people. And I feel like throughout the past few years, I've experienced a lot of difficult challenges in my friendships with people and just relationships in general. And I always feel like I am very open-minded compared to years ago. So I appreciate friendships come and go, and if a friend wants to stop being friend with me, I'm totally cool with that. Maybe I'll feel sad, but I wouldn't try to pressure the other side to stay friends with me. because I believe everybody has their choice, option, decision. So don't feel sad if someone unfollows you on Instagram or on Facebook, because sometimes I feel like the social media is a pretty misleading place, although I have to admit I use social media a lot for posting fashion related things, or for posting just photography and posting my writings. And sometimes I think social media is misleading in the sense that everybody likes your post, but not necessarily everybody is your friend, like friend in real life. So I just think that just make sure you hold on to the people in real life who actually make you feel comfortable and make you feel like you love yourself and you love each other. You love this friendship. Those people are the type of people that are worth maintaining and worth holding on to. And sometimes when I think back and look back, I sometimes made friends just because I was lonely. But usually those type of friendships didn't end up well, because it's probably very obvious the other person also hang out with you because he or she was lonely. And maybe if, in the long-term world, that is okay to consider as friends, but to me, I'm very sick of those types of shallow friendships. I no longer want to post pretty photos of me with a bunch of girls well dressed, and we all look pretty in a photo, pretending to be happy, pretending to be each other's best friends, calling each other babes, calling each other's you're gorgeous, calling each other angels, and just stuffs like that. Those feel very shallow to me. And sometimes I feel, this is very personal, but I'm just telling you and sharing it here. I feel like this is very odd of me. Like, I feel old, mentally old, compared with a lot of my female friends who seemingly are doing the thing that I just said. But I stop wanting those friendships, so quote-unquote friendships. I stop wanting those group of people being together and with like alcohol involved, or like parties. And I'm not saying I don't party anymore. I'm saying that I don't want to spend so much time on calling them my friends, or close friends in lives, when you're not really happy. The person's not happy either after all the party ends, and you go back to your house all alone on your sofa, lying on the couch, thinking, why did I do that? Why did I even hang out with them when you don't really like each other, but you pretend that you do? So I've been through those times, and I was so wrong, but I feel like I was so young, so I forgive myself. And right now I just prefer friends who really also see me as friends, and I could feel that they're sincere to me, and we could be very honest with each other's feelings, and I feel comfortable around them. They would feel the same with me, and that's the type of people that I cherish, and the time I spend our quality time with those people. And I think that is more valuable than anything to me. And at the end of this episode, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're treating yourself well. I hope you're being selective about the group of people you hang out with. And if not, it's totally okay. Take your time and practice spending time with yourself. I'm still working on it. The more I spend alone time with myself, the more I realize there's still a lot I don't know about myself. So I'm working on it, and I hope this episode didn't keep you too worried and doesn't keep you awake at night. And if not, that's it for today's episode, and feel free to email me your story at ahcpoetry@gmail.com, and I love to share all the great stories with you and listen to your stories as well. And I'll see you next week, so have a good night.